Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining webinar series. Today's topic is buffer rice making enterprises. Here, we will be learning how the climate smart solutions are integrated in these particular enterprises and also how these improve these buffer rice making enterprises livelihood. Before getting into the topic, with us, there is a champion end user. She is from Odisha, Leena Patil, along with manufacturer vendor from Mamangala, Ajay sir. Thanks for joining with us. Uh, we will be
Namaskar.
getting
Namaskar.
yeah. Thank you, sir. Please be in the call. This is how the flow of the webinar will be going to take place. In the contents, there will be the introduction of the is livelihood and how the process of making a puffer rice and what are the challenges faced by our the end users and what are all the value added products from these puffer rice and the technical specifications and case study of the Mr. Leena Patil and vendor insights on the particular technology what are all the technologies available with him and business model and how the safety measures have to be taken like in the operations and maintenance. Yeah, getting into topic, puffer rice is a which we also there are the different names for these particular puffer rice like in the regional specific like Borgulu in Telugu, Mandaki in Kannada, and also India is a major exporter of these puffer rice in the world, which in the total production of the rice, 10% of the production is used for converted into this puffer rice. While coming into the market, puffer rice is a key ingredient in popular snacks like bel puri, jalmuri, and masala puri, which are sold across India, reflecting the ever-growing demand, catering to evolving consumer preferences. And due to this huge demand, it is evolved into the popular street food snack, serving as important source of the livelihood for street vendors and a small time, which like who used to do a part time also. Well, coming into the practices, these are they generally do in three ways. Here you can see the like, one is in the household practice, and another is in the bhattis, which are also called as mandaki bhattis, and another is in the factory level, which is a larger scale. Well, coming into the here you can see the major producers how the production in at the state level and their consuming patterns uh, and the production level household or factory level. This is integrated here only. uh, Majorly in the South India, the puffer rice is consumed as a breakfast as well as a snack, and while coming into the Northeast, it is a staple diet. uh, While coming into the production type, they generally do home-based plus a commercial production. In the South India, they do three levels, like a household, mandaki, vatis, and also a factory level also. While coming into consuming patterns in the West Bengal and Odisha, they do as a staple diet and also snack. In the South India, they also consume this as a sweet snack for a diet purpose. They keep in the temples as well. Yes. Next, we'll go through the process of making a puffur rice. We'll be collecting the raw material, which is a paddy from the field, and then we'll be soaking it in the water in the container. After the after this, we will be doing the parboiling, heating it the under the wood or fire. After this, it will be dried for some time. Then we will be making it into milling machine, removing the husk of the paddy. Then whatever the collected in output, we will be drying it again. Then we will be heating it in the pans or spindle also. Then we will add a salt solution to this rice. Later we will dry for some time so that it will become dry instead of wet. Then we will be taking that whatever the added salt rice will be again we will be putting it into a spindle so that due to the chemical reaction of the starch and moisture, then the rice will be converting into the puffer rice. Here you can see the end product. Here you can also see that like moisture level in the rice will be reducing at the going on. Mainly coming into the roasting model, we have done a drum roaster type, which is highlighted in this particular slide. Well, who are doing the pufferized enterprise, they can also have make into the value added products, which will increase their income and double their livelihood. Like, see, these are all the different value added products of the puffer rice, which they in the sweet they will do a laddu. In the spicy, they use mostly for a charts and as I said before, like in a bel puri, masala puri, and also just consumer product like a savory chuda mixture. And in all nowadays they are health conscious. They are making new energy bars. We in contact with the end users, we came to know like what are all the challenges they are facing. These are all the problem statement. Like due to continuous production, they are like, getting exposed to heat. Due to that overexposure to heat, they are facing a issue uh, which is leading to the physical stress and production is which is creating the impact on the production. And due to the irregular supply of the power also, the production is impacting like whenever power cuts, they are not able to produce that puffer rice. So that whatever they have to stop for some times so that the rice, whichever they are in the paraboiling stage, or they have to keep it like it will be when it goes into wasted. So which hugely impacts on the production. They have to stop it for some time and they have to start it again until the power comes. This is also leads to labor shortage because of these two, like severe heat exposure and irregular power supply. Due to these timings and drudgery, labor is also not, they are not in the getting it properly, like in the continuous process. Over to Madhu Babu, remaining on the technology part.
Thank you, Raghav. Good afternoon, everyone. You- uh, here there are three types of puffered rice processing techniques that are generally used in all the geographies. If you look at India, south, like northeast region, so they have a different way of making puffered rice. When it comes to south, specifically in Karnataka, no, the people use this drum and also the single stirrer models. So, if you look at the drum type roasters, so there is a difference between the the output. Like who are doing with a single stirrer or even four spindle model and drum type, the output quality slightly varies. So specifically, if you look at a Karnataka region, people eat puffed rice mostly as a snack. We see a lot of the puffed rice is over puffed. It's very crunchy and over puffed. But if you look at Odisha or northeast region, the puffed rice quality slightly differs, as a very soft texture. So that's where making cooking and snack the puffed rice slightly varies. Specifically, there are drum type roasters we see in Odisha, Jharkhand, West Bengal, northern region, and even the spindle models. But in Karnataka, this side, mostly people use a single stirrer model, where rice is directly fed into the pan and where it is directly fried. So there is and I think we need to understand the local variety, the acceptance, and then we need to choose the technology. So here we have a short clip on how a single stirrer and drum type roasters looks like. I will just play a video. So if we see both the processes, where in a single stirrer model, people need a lot of drudgery, like like physical activities to do every time puffing the rice. Where it is also like very unsafe in terms of smoke or heat. People need to bend it a certain way and do this. Somewhere we feel it is a little bit effective when it comes to the drum type model. Uh, yes. And one other thing here is in terms of energy profile. If we see the in general cases for either stirrer, single stirrer model, or a four-pot model, or even drum type, people use in general 1.5 to 2 HP electric motors. Somewhere the energy and the motors also very inefficient. Wherever we observed, people using the because of this carbon and smoke, all the motors are filled with dust and all of that. And one other thing, even if you want to integrate a solar energy, a solarizing 1.5 to 2 HP motor, you need a huge capex, solar panel, battery, all of that. So what we did from SELCO Foundation, so we retrofitted with the DC motors to reduce the energy consumption. So in traditionally people use 1.5, now where we have integrated a zero point 0.5 HP DC motor for single stirrer as well as a drum model. So this specific drum model works with a half HP, where we can do it can do 100 kg per hour capacity. Mostly, like if you compare why these DC motors are playing a major role, where we can able to optimize the energy more than three times. Otherwise, 1.5 HP, 2 HP, in some cases people use even three-phase power supply. So such a cases, solar energy integration will help them to for reliable operation. And in Karnataka, there are communities where they do, it is like a union, like some of the Mandaki Bhattis, they have a policy to do maximum 100 kgs in a day. So that, people could able to take a rest and, they can ease their work. Otherwise, whole day working, it is very effective for people for their health as well as, physical drudgery. Here, some of the specifications, how the drum model works. What I said, 100 kg maximum it can do, but it is also compatible to do any other kind of cereals. Like if you wanna roast any groundnut or any kind of dry items, so the drum model is compatible to do that. And it has a half HP PMDC motor, even beyond that. So as Ajay Bhai is going to explain, there are so many models beyond this, like not only 100, even people who want to produce 200 up to 500. So the drum sizes and motor capacities varies. Those models also manufacturers are willing to supply. This is the single stirrer model. Similarly, here also we recommended retrofitting with a DC motor. In case of new installations, so for example, if somebody want to have a new, so it is better to have initial only to integrate it either with energy efficient DC or even AC. We can even recommend AC, but certain cases where you have a combination of roaster plus there will be a multiple value chain equipment. In case if they want to have a blower or some kind of rice huller, so the model can be integrated as a one combined model as a package. And here it comes as a one combined blower combination as a package, where what happens, people always need to depend on one extra labor to just feed the firewood into the furnace. So that's where again, always people has to, depend on labor or continuously they need to feed the firewood as well as blowing the air into the furnace. So there is an integration of blower come firewood feeder, which is also we retrofitted with the half HP motor. Both can operate at a time, so the entrepreneur need not to always, depend on extra labor to just feed the air or firewood. So most of the cases, what we see, people use your wood powder or paddy wastage, the husk, or even some people burn tires. It's like very, that if you look at the area workspace, it's like people just use whatever raw material is available and they burn it. Somewhere it is also creates a lot of smoke and people get respiratory problems. So when we spoke to a lot of entrepreneurs in Karnataka, where they are burning all the tire wastage or whatever they get in a cheap way, there is no other way, right? So that's where some people reported that they have a backbone jaw issues and respiratory illnesses. So that's where when people are working many years, this is what major challenge that people are facing. Somewhere we were also recommending energy efficient, like workspace where to use natural ventilation, lighting, as well as we also done one workshop, like one webinar on cooking solutions. You can also refer that. So where we can use the smokeless chulas or rocket stoves, where with less firewood we could able to have a better cooking solutions. It's there in the YouTube video. Please refer later on if you want to look at. This is a four parts model, where why these four parts usually, the single part one, people like just they keep the rice directly and it will get puffed. But when it comes to four series of pots, usually this happens in some parts Karnataka, Odisha, and other regions. Here, rice is actually preheated before getting into the final puffing. So that is where they change into multiple pots, so that the it is not like directly it is puffed, so that we can use the firewood also efficiently. And this four-pot model comes with 1 HP AC motor. We do tried with DC, but what we feel either AC or DC, almost there is a negligible energy difference. And when we are combining with multiple equipment, like your fan, light, or any kind of packaging equipment, certain value chain equipment will be there. So that is where we are recommending direct inverter hybrid system, where if there is no sunshine, enough sunshine, if no solar, even battery or panel can charge from traditional grid energy. So we have one of our champion entrepreneur, Ms. Leela Patil from Odisha. I think we'll listen from her how she started the buffer rice business, what SELCO Foundation has done the intervention, how her business ongoing. I would request Priyanka to uh, take over and give insights from end user.
नमस्कार
Priyanka, can you
सर,
mute and speak? Yeah. Welcome,
आप सभी नमस्ते।
Lena, ma'am.
बिल्कुल सर। कौन तो दीदी कौन सर? हेलो, इससे
Yeah,
ऑडिबल
you are
सर?
audible. Yes, you are audible.
My name is Lina Patel at post Satkoma, डिस्ट्रिक्ट संबलपुर। हाँ, कौन कौन अपन में स्टार्ट करते हैं जरा कौन? पहले हम तो ग्रुप में हैं, एसएजी ग्रुप। तो हमारा हर महीने एक बैठक होता है, वहाँ पर मैं हर महीने तो हम जाते हैं, सभी लोग ग्रुप में हैं, तो जितने भी लोग हैं वहाँ जाते हैं। तो सेल्को फाउंडेशन से आए थे, तो वो लोग पूछे तो कौन कौन क्या क्या करते हैं, तो वहाँ पूछे थे तो मैं बोली थी हमारा एक मुड़ी मिल है और आटा मिल ऐसे है बोल के वहाँ बोली थी। तो वो लोग हाँ ठीक है बोले, और घर भी आए थे घूमने, और सब सब कैसे करते हैं क्या करते हैं कितना वोल्टेज का है सब देख कर गए। फिर वो लोग गए देख कर गए, फिर एक हफ्ते के बाद आए। तो फिर वो लोग फिर से 2021 से हमारा मुड़ी मिल स्टार्ट है, लेकिन वो लोग 2022 से आए हैं हमारे घर।
जब 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 आप मूडी में
जब हमारा मुड़ी मिल तो स्टार्ट किए थे हम इलेक्ट्रिसिटी से स्टार्ट किए थे। उस टाइम तो हमारा ये सोलर तो नहीं था, लेकिन उस टाइम प्रॉब्लम ये था कि जब लाइन चला जाता है तो लकड़ी जो उड उसका प्रॉब्लम है। एक बार लाइन तो उड़ी ज्यादा, एक साइकिल या दो साइकिल खर्चा होता है एक बार लाइन चला जाने से। फिर वो चावल जो है, राइस जो है, वो राइस भी सब खत्म हो जाता है। इनके अंदर रह जाएगा ना, तो वो बाहर नहीं पाता है, तो जल जाता है, वो ब्लैक ब्लैक सब हो जाएगा। तो उसका भी प्रॉब्लम होता था। तो और टाइम टेकिंग भी एक इलेक्ट्रिसिटी भी बचता है, इलेक्ट्रिक बिल भी।
सोलर होने के
हेलो।
बाद आपको क्या प्रॉफिट मिला बोले? सुनाई दे रहा है?
सोलर होने के बाद हमको हमारा तो टाइम भी बच रहा है, और वो लकड़ी भी जितना नष्ट हो जितना जल रहा था उतना अभी नहीं जल रहा है, अभी कम गया है, और इलेक्ट्रिसिटी भी बच रहा है।
एक बार मैं
हम
क्विकली
टाइम
ट्रांसलेट
टाइम
कर लेती हूँ। एक मिनट मैम। So she started her pasteurized unit around 2021, and our team sort of started working with her, and solar powered her unit in 2022. Main issues were related to firewood availability, electricity availability, and the reliability of the power that was also available, which now have been resolved with reliable solar energy that is available for her unit. मैम थोड़ा आपके बिजनेस के बारे में बताएंगे कि आप कहाँ कहाँ पे बेचती है, कितना बेचती है, और आपके कस्टमर्स कैसे आपको मिलते हैं?
हमारा बिजनेस तो घर घर में ही सब आते हैं, जितना भी यहाँ हमारे 1-2 किलोमीटर में जितना भी दुकान भी है वो लोग सब घर में आकर ले जाते हैं। वो बिजनेस सब दुकान, और जो गांव में जो भी है जो खाते हैं सब वो भी घर में आकर ले जाते हैं।
Approximately एक दिन में कितना दीदी
एक
आपका बिक्री होता है?
1 क्विंटल।
उसका रेट क्या होता है?
उसका रेट तो हम केजी के हिसाब से लेंगे तो 1 किलो का 50 रुपया।
आपका
और आपके
राइस का रेट कितना होता है
कुछ
दीदी? यस मैम, यू कैन कंटिन्यू।
नहीं नहीं, बता दीजिए आप, क्वेश्चन जो पूछे थे।
आप जो राइस लेके आते हैं पप के लिए, पप राइस के लिए, उसका रेट कितना होता है, एक
एक
बस्ता का रेट?
एक बस्ता का रेट है 1600, 50 किलो।
और आप मार्केटिंग कैसे करते हैं
1 किलो
आपके पफ्ड राइस के लिए? मतलब
मार्क
जो आजू बाजू के घर के लोग हैं वो आते हैं आपसे खरीदने के लिए, बट जनरली आप कैसे मार्केट करते हैं, या अभी आपके रेगुलर कस्टमर्स हैं, कैसे आपका एक्सपेंशन हो रहा है?
मैम, वो जो दुकान जिन जिन का दुकान है वो तो खुद आते हैं घर हमारे यहाँ, हमको लेने के लिए नहीं पड़ता है।
Acha. Okay. So what she's saying is majority of her customers are households and shops around her house, which is also the production unit. And mainly that is where her customers are, where because the consumption is also high. and shops also consume a lot from that. She sells each kg for about 50 rupees. That's the bag of puff rice. That's 50 rupees that she sells. हाँ प्रियंका।
पॉप राइस के बिना और क्या क्या आप फ्राई करते हैं दीदी, और कुछ फ्राई?
और चिना बादाम, और वो दाल, चूड़ा, पोहा।
सो ये सारे आइटम्स के भी आपको ऑर्डर्स आते हैं फिर?
हाँ हाँ मैम।
अच्छा, और सेम ही मशीन में आप रोस्ट कर पाती हैं इनको या अलग से?
हमारा हमारा दो मशीन है, एक फ्राई मशीन है, एक रोस्टर मशीन है,
अच्छा, ओके
जिसमें वो राइस जो गरम करते हैं, फ्राई करते हैं, दोनों का अलग अलग है।
ओके ओके।
और दोनों मशीन भी सोलर में ही चलता है।
प्रॉब्लम क्या होता है दीदी, पहले क्या होता था प्रॉब्लम, जब आपने मशीन इंस्टॉल किया था, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी में मशीन इंस्टॉल किया था, तब आपको क्या प्रॉब्लम हो रही थी, और आफ्टर सोलर के बाद आपको क्या प्रॉब्लम फेस कर रहे हैं, और आपको क्या बेनिफिट्स मिल रहा है, उसको थोड़ा बता सकते हैं?
यस मैम। वो पहले तो लकड़ी भी प्रॉब्लम होता था, वो जितना हो सके तो उतना तो वो सब टाइम तो होगा नहीं ना, तो ज्यादा भी नहीं होगा तो वो उसमें वो जल जल माने पुड़ कर खत्म हो जाता था। वो लाइट जब बार बार करता है तो प्रॉब्लम बहुत दिक्कत आता है। टाइम भी शॉर्ट होता है, तो दिन में एक एक अगर लेबर आएगा तो वो कितना टाइम रहेगा, ज्यादा टाइम तो नहीं रहेगा ना। तो उसका टाइम तो जब तक रहेगा उतने टाइम में अगर करंट है तो वो रहेगा, नहीं तो वो चला जाएगा। तो वो चला जाएगा जब, तो वो एक दिन रह जाएगा, वो जो भिगा हुआ जो राइस रहता है उसका तो फिर प्रॉब्लम होता है। और उसको दोबारा नेक्स्ट टाइम में वो करने से, नेक्स्ट डे में वो करने से ये थोड़ा प्रॉफिट कम होता है, प्रॉफिट कम भी होता है। और वो नहीं फूटेगा तो ज्यादा बड़ा नहीं होगा, तो वो कस्टमर भी वो पसंद नहीं करते हैं। तो कस्टमर को क्या चाहिए, कस्टमर को तो अच्छा चाहिए ना, तो वो उसमें जो वो पुड़ जाएगा तो ब्लैक ब्लैक भी उसमें मिक्स हो जाता है। तो पूरा हुआ भी वो पसंद नहीं करते हैं, कस्टमर को तो सब अच्छा लगे जैसे चाहिए ना।
मैम बेसिकली सी सेइंग दैट कि जब वो लोग जब वो लोग चावल को लाते हैं, बस्ता में चावल लाते हैं, उसको वो लोग क्या करते हैं, सॉल्ट दे के उसको मैरिनेट करते हैं, मैरिनेट करने के बाद उसको मशीन में डालते हैं। तो जब उन्होंने मशीन लाया था, उन्होंने लेबर एक हायर किया था जिसको उन्होंने पैसा दे रहे थे। तो जब इलेक्ट्रिसिटी चला जाता है तो वो मशीन नहीं चला है, तो चावल पूरा खराब हो जाता है, वो फूटता नहीं है, और दूसरे दिन वो पूरा चावल हो जाता है, और ऑर्डर भी वो नहीं ले सकते थे। बट जब से उनका सोलर ये हुआ है, तो वो घर में सिलाई मशीन वगैरह भी रखे हैं, वो सब भी करते हैं, तो उनको बहुत सारा ज्यादा अभी टाइम भी मिलता है, और वो आराम से अपने टाइम के हिसाब से सोलर लगा के वो पप्ड राइस को फ्राई करते हैं। और वो मार्केटिंग के लिए पास उसमें जितने भी किराने दुकान हैं उनको पैकेट करके उन लोग यहाँ उनसे आके ले लेते हैं, और पैकेट करके उन लोग भी सेल करते हैं। उनका घर में भी है, जो घर के पास के आस पड़ोस नेबरहुड्स भी वो लोग भी लेते हैं। और तीसरा है कि मैम, जैसे कि पफ्ड राइस को वेस्टर्न उड़ीसा में एक तो बहुत मतलब अहमियत दिया जाता है के फूड के हिसाब के, कि जैसे चावल कोई नहीं खाता है राइस में दोपहर में, तो वो लोग पफ्ड ये राइस खाते हैं। तो वो भी यूज होता है, कोई किसी का शादी होता है तो वो लोग आके डिमांड देते हैं कि हम लोग का घर में मेहमान आने वाले हैं, आप देख दो बस्ता हम लोग को दे। तो वो सब ऑर्डर भी लीना दीदी ले रहे हैं, जिनके लिए उन्होंने एक लेबर भी हायर किया है, जो लेबर उनका 200 से 300 रुपीज पर डे लेते हैं।
गॉट इट। आई थिंक ओवर टू यू मधु। प्रियंका आप जुड़ी रहे हमसे, क्योंकि अगर और क्वेश्चंस आ रहे हैं तो एंड ऑफ द सेशन वील टेक यू इन।
श्योर मैम, श्योर।
थैंक यू।
We have one of the grassroots innovator and manufacturer from Odisha who had been doing fabrications, a lot of machineries already been implemented in Odisha and few other states in India. I think some technical issue. He's trying to rejoin, and once if he join, we will listen from manufacturer insights. Yeah, these are some of the photographs of how the fabricator is doing. This is basically a roaster model, which, as I said, from 100 to even 500, even bigger models were there. But yeah, depends on the requirement, they could able to fabricate anything for user. I would request Supriya to take us through the financial model, how the business model works for these models. Over to you, Supriya.
Thank you. So, my name is Supriya, and I will be explaining about the financial business model. We have particularly taken for the drum type technology, which can be similarly emulated for the other two technologies as well. We'll be sharing at the end of the webinar, we'll be sharing the Excel link as well. So, we'll initially discuss first about the setup cost and the financing, and then the business model, and lastly, profitability. Next. So the capital expenditure for the drum type roaster model would be the machine cost is around 85,000 and the solar cost is 1,40,000, amounting to total of 2,25,000. And if the entrepreneur is availing a loan, say for about 80% of the loan amount, that is 1,80,000, 80% of the capex, 80% of 2,25,000 would be 1,80,000, and the remaining is the margin money, that is 45,000, with a tenure of 60 months and a rate of interest of 12%. Then the EMI per month would be around 6,000 and odd. Next. So next. So the processing capacity is 100 kgs per hour of the machine, and the machine runtime per day is 1 hour per day. It can definitely be increased depending on the demand. So that depends again on your market linkages, how strong it is. And the puff rice produced per day, we have considered it as 100 kgs per day. So the raw rice processed per day is 100 kgs again. So the practice again depends from person to person and region to region. That is, some people start from paddy, hull it, and then take it up to the end product of puffed rice. Some people use the intermediary product as directly as a raw rice and then process it and make the puffed rice. So the preheating time required for the heating of the raw rice is roughly about 2 hours for 100 kgs, and the working hours per day then would then amount to 3 hours. That is 2 hours of heating and 1 hour of the machine runtime. And the model can also be utilized for as per like trader and the service model. It can be used as a combination of both. So the service model, we have interacted with a lot of end users. What they do is, apart from making the puffed rice, they also use their machine for service based products, as in they have influx of customers coming to them for this roasting of peanuts or any snack item, and they use the machine for that particular purpose. So we have considered service orders per month to be about roughly 15. It can increase again, and the service charge per kg, it is 15 to 20 rupees per kg. And like earlier, what Raghav, like my colleague Raghav mentioned, that there was a lot of wastage happening due to the power cuts, and it was amounting to 15 kgs per day, and monthly that would be around 300 kgs per month. So the selling price per kg is in itself is 50 rupees. So it is a 15,000 loss per month, which is now nullified post intervention. Next. So look, if you look at the annual expenses, the human resource remains the same. We have considered one labor cost per annum, and the raw material cost involve the raw rice cost, which is the same pre and the post intervention. So the difference only here lies in electricity charges. Earlier, 30,000 was the electricity charges, and now it is nil. So the savings is 30,000 post intervention, and the annual expenses post intervention has reduced to 8,95,500. And like I earlier mentioned, the selling price remains same pre and post, 50 rupees per kg. So the revenue per month now is 1 lakh and odd, and the revenue per annum is, earlier it was 10 lakh and now it is 12 lakh. And that is because the wastage of 3 kgs per month is now nil. Next. So the total revenue per annum is 12 lakh 600, and total expenses, like I earlier mentioned, 8 lakh 95,500. So if you deduce the expenses, you're left with an operating profit before EMI of 3 lakh. And after you deduce the EMI per annum of 47,000, you're left with a net profit of 2,60,000 with a payback period of 2.4 years. This payback period can definitely be lower in case your production per day is high with the market, with your stronger market linkages, with a combination of B2B and B2C, because B2B would be a stable market. Next. This is just to show an overview of a comparison of all the three technologies, how their expenses and their payback period would look. So the total capex of the drum type roaster that we just now discussed in detail is about 2 lakh, and roaster single spindle pot is 3 lakh, and the multi spindle pot is 4 lakh 50,000. So the processing capacity in first case, the technology one is 100 kgs per hour. In second case, it is 25 kgs per hour. In third case, it is 50 kgs per hour. So the daily output, if you look at the daily output for the first and the second case, we have considered it to be as 100 kgs per hour. In the third case, it is 200 kgs per day, because it has to be a little more. Otherwise, because it is multi-spindle pot, it is definitely higher. And if your production is higher, only then you would opt for a multi-spindle pot. And the selling price we have assumed here to be a 60 rupees. But then again, it depends from region to region. Say, for example, in Karnataka, the per kg price varies from 80 to 100, whereas in Odisha, it varies from 40 to 50 rupees per kg. And like my colleague Madhu Babu mentioned, that the crispiness also varies, the product also varies, because in Odisha, it is more opaque, and in Karnataka, it is very light and crispier. And if you look at the revenue per annum, it is same for 1 and 2. For 3, it is higher because the production rate is higher again. And the expenses also is higher in case of third case. And so if you look at the net profit in technology 1 and 2, you have a net profit, you're left with a net profit about 50,000 after the EMI deduction. And in 3, you're left with a net profit of 1 lakh. And payback period is lesser than 2 years in all the 3 cases. Next. So this is the QR code where you can scan the QR code and edit the business model for the puffed rice making as per your details of the business. Over to Madhu Babu.
Thanks, Supriya. The manufacturer couldn't able to join online, but we have there is some network issue. But I have connected him in our phone. 1 second. Yes.
हाँ अजय जी नमस्ते, आवाज आ रही है?
नमस्ते, आवाज आ रही।
यस, थैंक यू ज्वाइन होने के लिए। आपके कंपनी के बारे में और आपका जो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग यूनिट है उसके बारे में थोड़ा बताएंगे?
मेरा कंपनी का नाम है मामकोड़ा मिशनरी। मैं कोलकाता से पहले काम कर रहा था। कोलकाता से लॉकडाउन हुआ तो इधर मैं काम स्टार्ट किया, छोटा से किया था। अभी 7-8 आदमी काम कर रहा है, और मैं पकड़ के चलो 3 साल में 350 मशीन भेजा है, तो बहुत अच्छा चल रहा है। जहाँ पे भी गया है वो सब अच्छा बोलती है, कहाँ पे भी कंप्लेन नहीं आया है, बहुत अच्छा से चल रहा है। और कंपनी में तो बहुत अच्छा काम हो रहा है, कोई कंप्लेन नहीं आ रहा है। और मेरा मशीन में तीन टाइप का मशीन बनाती हूँ। एक ड्रम मॉडल, एक बॉक्स मॉडल, एक स्क्रू मॉडल। और तीन रोस्टर में काम चल रहा है। अभी नया मशीन है, वो पूरा मशीन भी काम चल रहा है, वो भी अच्छा से चलता है, बहुत
ओके।
अच्छा चल रहा है अभी।
और आपके जो कस्टमर्स हैं वो क्या क्या प्रकार के कस्टमर्स हैं, और आपको मतलब आपके साथ कैसे उनका सफर जुड़ता है?
मेरा यूट्यूब चैनल है।
अच्छा।
चैनल में भी मैं वीडियो भी डालती हूँ। पहले इंडिया मैप में भी मेरा चैनल था, अभी 6 महीना हो जाएगा। इंडिया मैप से ज्यादा बिजनेस नहीं आया तो क्लोजिंग कर दिया।
अच्छा, और क्या प्रकार के कस्टमर्स होंगे आपके? सो मेनली आप बोल कह रहे हैं कि यूट्यूब से आपको इंक्वायरीज आते हैं।
हाँ जी।
और क्या प्रकार के कस्टमर्स होंगे आपके?
सब प्रकार का कस्टमर आता है, शुरू से पकड़ के 16-15 किलो तक मशीन में से दे दिया है।
और कितना प्रोडक्शन करते होंगे आपके कस्टमर नॉर्मली, मतलब क्या रेंज है?
मेरा तो स्टार्टिंग प्राइस जो 45,000 से स्टार्टिंग होता है मशीन। 100 किलो कैपेसिटी का मशीन है।
अच्छा, और सो मेनली 100 किलो का सबसे पॉपुलर है, या कौन सा टाइप का मशीन सबसे पॉपुलर है? हाँ।
सबसे 200 किलो ड्रम वाला उसको ज्यादा लेते हैं।
अच्छा अच्छा, और ये सारी फैक्ट्रीज ही है जो मूड़ी बनाती है, या क्या प्रकार के मतलब प्रोडक्शन यूनिट्स है?
ज्यादा से ज्यादा तो मोरी का इन चलती है।
अच्छा, और फैक्ट्रीज है कि घर पे बनाने वाले वैसे वैसे बिजनेस करने वाले लोग हैं?
नहीं, वो बिजनेस करने के लिए लोग हैं।
अच्छा, सो फैक्ट्रियां मतलब जो मूड़ी की फैक्ट्रीज होती है वैसे प्रकार के कस्टमर्स हैं।
हाँ, वो भी है। छोटा
ओके।
से बड़ा तक का काम चल रहा है।
अच्छा, तो अभी तक आपने कहाँ कहाँ पे सप्लाई किए हैं आपके सारे मशीन्स, मतलब कौन कौन से स्टेट्स में?
ऑल ओडिशा मशीन सप्लाई करती हूँ।
अच्छा।
और छत्तीसगढ़ भी गया है। और हमारा बैंगलोर गया है। और इधर असम साइड भी मशीन गया है।
अच्छा अच्छा।
और एक अजय भाई, आप मिशंस देने के बाद ट्रेनिंग एंड वो सर्विस का बारे में आप कैसे सपोर्ट करेगा, मतलब देने के बाद?
हमारा हमारा आदमी जा रहा है, इसका मशीन से कटिंग करके हमारा बाजने के लिए इसको ट्रेनिंग दे के आता है।
अच्छा अच्छा। और मिशन में क्या क्या प्रॉब्लम्स यूजुअली आएगा, मतलब सर्विस का क्या होता, मोस्ट सेंसिटिव पार्ट्स क्या है?
वो मशीन का पकड़ के चलो, बेरिंग और बेल्ट, ये दोनों तो मेजर प्रॉब्लम है। और मशीन का ज्यादा कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं।
अच्छा, सो आप बेल्ट, वो बेरिंग, फिर बेल्ट स्पेयर देगा क्या पैकेज में?
पैकेज में दिया देता हूँ।
ओके।
तो और मार्केट में मिल जाता है, देने में कोई तकलीफ नहीं, ना देने में कोई तकलीफ।
अच्छा, सो वो इजीली अवेलेबल है क्या बेल्ट? फिर लेट्स से बेल्ट वो फेल हुआ और बेरिंग ब्रेक हुआ, सो कस्टमर को, मतलब क्या कभी कभी क्या होता ना, वो इंडिविजुअल साइट्स था, वेरी रूरल में होता, विलेज में, वो मटेरियल मिलेगा क्या? कभी कभी वो डिफिकल्ट
क्या
है ना।
समझा? क्या बोले? समझा नहीं।
नहीं नहीं, वो बेरिंग्स है ना, वो स्पेयर मटेरियल आप देगा ना पैकेज के, एक इवन नया वाला परचेज करने का टाइम में।
कुछ तो दे देते हैं हम लोग। नहीं, तो और मार्केट में मिल जाएगा बेरिंग और स्पेयर।
और क्या अगर हमारे वेबिनार में जो जुड़े हुए लोग हैं आपसे ऑर्डर करना चाहेंगे तो कैसे आपको ऑर्डर प्लेस कर सकते हैं?
तो मेरा नंबर में कॉल करके मुझे ऑर्डर कर देगा।
अच्छा, ओके। तो आपका नंबर और ईमेल आईडी भी हम इधर शेयर कर लेते हैं, अगर जो इंटरेस्टेड लोग हैं वो आपको डायरेक्टली कांटेक्ट कर पाएंगे।
हाँ जी, वो जो जिसको चाहिए तो मुझे कॉन्टेक्ट करेगा, कौन सा मशीन चाहिए बात करके मैं मुझे और कर पाएगा।
ठीक है, ठीक। आप लाइन में रख दीजिए ना, हम क्योंकि सब कुछ लोग डाउट्स और कुछ कहता हम पूछ सकते हैं। आप लाइन में रखो ना।
हाँ जी, हाँ।
Yeah, I think as Ajay, like Ma'am Angla said, anything even beyond capacity, they could able to do customization as per the requirement. When it comes to the business investments, ideally what we need is moreover on the entire setting up the process, the set of equipment, what is required, the machineries. And need a proper either a rent or proper space for installing all the equipment. One other thing, we need to understand what is the production capacity that is going to be supplied, because based on the your supply, all the technologies that we need to choose, keeping in future moreover, like if you we need to, if we have a demand 100 kg, what is most suitable and what variety it is. And in certain cases where people just buy rice directly, they do puffing. Some cases where people buy the paddy, do all the processes whatever we showed. So that mean wherever people do want to do bulk, and they need a set of equipment to process from paddy to puffing. So most of the retail entrepreneurs, what we see, they buy the processed rice wholesale, process it and sell it. That is one category what we observed. And other category where they do bulk, all the entire process, because paddy they get lower cost. They do entire like hulling, boiling, drying, all of that. So that setup need higher, bit higher investment. And where retail entrepreneurs, as we showed, those are all the generic capex investments. And in terms of labor, as we said, certain cases where we need helpers to do the activities. And in general, what we need raw material input here is your paddy or processed rice or salt, water input, firewood availability. Initially, certain cases we proposed, people started using a gas. Even Mamangla has supplied gas operated roaster models, but definitely it is, continuously they need to keep it down. Sometimes gas shortages, and it is not comparatively, it is not viable certain cases, because wherever you get a firewood at a cheaper rate, better to go for a smokeless firewood chola, so that it is even workspace also can be, we can maintain a little clean way. And usually for these businesses, since it is comes under food processing, if people want to go for any loan or bank financing, definitely they need to have a Udyam registration. The GST, as we said, the 20, if it's certain turnover crosses, then only we need GST. But otherwise, FSSAI license to, if you want to sell a product as a retail, like, if entrepreneur itself making 1 kg or 2 kg packets and selling it as their own branding, definitely need an FSSAI license to do that. And in terms of training, I think 1 or 2 days more than sufficient to learn about it, entire process. But ideally, people should have a back end little bit experience or exposure visit. How usually rice is, the entire process is being done. I think 1 to 2 days, if they could able to fully spend a time, and they could definitely learn the entire process. We also have some of the solution packages where this is just a rough estimation to understand how the model works, like the a single stirrer or roaster or multi spindle. So all the cases we have given here the capacities and required solar capacity, and some reference cost only to set up the equipment and solar. But moreover, when you are setting up entire workspace or additional equipment, that will again increase your investment. But this will give a base idea about what model, how much investment required, what is the outcome of that. Here also we have given a contact details, Mangala, and even some of other vendors were there. You can get in touch with, and if we have any requirement, people could able to, vendors could able to direct you on this. There are some maintenance things that what Ajay also told. Like certain bearings will get damaged or some belts will get damaged, so we need to better to keep those as a spare. Suddenly if something either belt or something gets failed, and the work will get stopped, right? So better to have a one or two spares specifically on that, and then applying a grease on the bearings or certain generic maintenance were there that we should keep an eye. So when it comes to solar integration, there is some general maintenance things that user should take care of, like a solar panel cleaning weekly, or making sure that the solar batteries or certain equipment should be in a ventilated place, not to keep any solid or metal particles close by. Yeah, these are some general maintenance where the clean energy enterprise, whoever implement at your premises, they will also give orientation on the general maintenance of the solar system. If anyone has any questions, please you can chat in the chat box. The solar, there is one question on solar panel sizing. I think we have given an indicative solar panel ranging in the slide based on the model. If you look at a base half HP DC, where we could able to manage with the 300 to 400 watt panel. So area wise, there is a slight variation in the panel sizing. So when it comes to Northeast, there is a 20-30% higher in panel sizing when South. So these variations were there, but indicatively these are the we consider as a 5 hour sunshine duration. This here we gave the panel capacity and the battery ranging. For what models we given, we might consider 3 to 4 hours backup. But if any user need beyond that, or working hours are beyond this, so solar system design always can be customized based on the user need. So that is anyway when we are finalizing user needs, that can be done. Any other question? I could not see questions. I'm sorry.
So there is another question about how much are the profits per quintal. So for 1 quintal of raw rice, the production is 1 quintal of puff rice. So dependent on the selling price and how much are you procuring the raw rice for is really where the profits come in. What we have seen is 1,200 to 1,500 rupees as the profit per quintal that comes in production, considering 50 rupees as the selling price of puffed rice. The wastage that we are also talking about, the model that Supriya showed, there is around 30,000 difference that comes in from sort of a before and after calculation coming in. So that's where the wastage amount also comes in, which then gets added to the profit as well. I think there are no more questions. These are the 2 questions that had come from the audience. Thank you so much for joining in. We would like to close today's webinar. I would like to thank Patel ma'am and Rajesh ji also for joining and really giving us their experience and insights on the livelihood. Thank you so much.
Thank you.